Oh no, it's the Corona Kid. No, it's not. It's me, Mike Lee Witty, and I'm about to give a free, yes, it's very hard for me to say that word, free. It's not often I give something away, but a free watercolor class for people who are struggling with watercolors. So this is like a refresher course. So I hope you just, even if you just get one thing out of it, it'll be great. So here we go. Okay, this is the very minimum that you need to start watercolors. Obviously you need paint. The three primaries, the red, the blue and the yellow. You need a brush. You only need one brush, big fat one with a point on. It's got to have a point. You can get away with that one brush. You need a plate or something like that to put your paint on. Never ever throw out any paint because you can rework watercolor. Paper, very important to have high quality paper. This is 300 gram cold press ash. Okay, these brands here, I've got Art Spectrum, that's entry level. I mainly use Daniel Smith, and you can use Winsor Newton. Don't use any of the cheap Chinese paints. It's a waste of time. You would not play golf with plastic clubs. Would you? Would you? No, you wouldn't. Okay, so this is the basic, and that actually could cost you $100 to start with. The very minimum. Okay, let's start with a lesson. I'm not going to use the plate because I've already got my palette all set up. It looks like a mess, but none of this paint will be wasted. So this morning it was dry, and then I've got them all going again. Just plenty of water, and that's a pretty good start. I'm just going to draw a pair, roughly. If you can paint this, you can paint anything. So I'm going to do a wet on wet demonstration. So I'm just going to wet inside the pear. So there's three main strokes: wet on wet, wet on dry, and the dry brush technique. So I've basically just wet all of that. Now I've got my table on a pretty big angle because I like to work fast. Now it doesn't matter what color I'm going to choose, but I'll just choose a bit of this mucky stuff here, and start again. I just dropped the phone. Okay, so this has been wet. I've just mixed up a yellow ochre. It's fairly strong. I'm just going to, again, just go around here. What I didn't say is you look for where the light's coming from. In this case, it's coming from this angle here. So I'm just brushing around. This is the first glaze. Okay, and this is dry already, so I'm going to wash the brush, and I'm just going to wet that again a bit more because I want that light on that side. Not bad. I'm just drying out the brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the paint off because I want that to be light. That'll be all right. Now I'm going to get a darker color. It doesn't matter what it is, but in this case it's just handy. It's a bit of red, and I've actually mixed it with a bit of green. It doesn't matter what color this is, it's just a darker color. And I've gone in just before the edge. I've just left the edge out. That gives a sort of helps to give it a bit of a three-dimensional look. So we'll give it a little thing up there. So this is all just pouring down beautifully. Which is a pear Bosch. Is it the type of... Okay, that's not looking too bad. See how it's where I've dried it? It's just pouring in there. I don't even mind that effect. I'll just come in a little bit more. And now I'm going to come in with a darker color. I'm actually going to use a purple for the shade over here. Let's see what happens here. Woohoo! Okay. I'm just going to do a few little flickies. And the shadow would be that. You can play with that if you like. I've just cleaned my brush, but the more you play with it, the less spontaneous it looks. So I'll just do a little bit up here. And I'm just going to add one more colour because I can. I'm just going to put a bit of red in there. And just let's see what happens. So if you're not prepared to take these sort of risks, don't do watercolours. Take up embroidery. Okay, there's my pair. First demo.